Uh, for life, man. Our platforms are we can go, you know. So what do it, bro? How's the day? Small chat before we start.
Ah, hey, you know what? Not feeling too bad. I know I have all cause to feel down and sad about the result on Sunday, but I think there were a few positives that came out of it, and I mean a few big negatives as well. But we're going to get into that, I'm sure, in the discussion. But
Uh,
otherwise, Gucci, man,
likewise. Like obviously a better weekend for me than you,
for
but
sure.
you know we have to give thanks. We have life same way, is
uh,
it?
yes,
All
sir.
right. So the first thing, obviously, people, let's do the intros. Obviously, this is Bandwagon podcast. We have some resident guests. We have some co-hosts. Obviously, a lot of them not here. You see an empty space to the right of the screen. Come on, you probably can't see it right now, but you see an empty space. We're supposed to have more people. I promise you. But anyways, I'm Rush. This is Kimani Sullivan, and we're here to have some Premier League talk. This is obviously a really, really good week in the Premier League this week. We have some lot of results. Arsenal, probably the only title favorite. I don't consider Man City a title favorite. The only title favorite to win a game this week. So let's talk about it. Firstly, let's talk about the probably the first big result this weekend, which was Liverpool. Liverpool losing to Crystal Palace, bro. What do you think about that result, first of all?
You know what? It's I must say it was quite shocking because at the end of the day, still we've all raved about Liverpool's window. You know, of course, they've splashed the cash this season.
Mhm.
This the last transfer window in acquiring Isak and Florian Wirtz, and I must say, I mean, from my perspective, I'm not a bad energy guy in a rush. You know this, right?
Yeah.
But I must say, it's not looking good, Isak. It's not looking good. The grass ain't always greener. But I know you're at the top of the table sitting pretty, but yeah, I really think more should be made about what Oliver Glasner is doing at Crystal Palace. I mean, uh, I think it's what, like 19 unbeaten uh, since the spanning last year,
Mhm.
going into the end of the season and into this season, also getting that win against Liverpool in the Community Shield. So um, twice undoing Arne Slot. But I think Oliver Glasner should be the major talking point because Crystal Palace, man, who saw this coming?
No,
Not me.
you know what I know as a long time Premier League watcher and knowing how football works, bro.
Yeah,
These are the type of results that lose in the Premier League. It is not losing to Man City. It is not losing to Arsenal. It's not losing to the big six. That's not what it's going to cost in the Premier League. It's going to come down to these teams that you struggle to beat. The Aston Villa, the Fulhams, the Crystal Palaces. When Stoke was in the league, even though them are up and down teams, Stoke City. These are the teams that you're supposed to beat, But these are the teams that somehow always make it hard for them, especially a away game at Palace, bro. Palace, first of all, Liverpool struggle to beat Palace a lot of the time. It's
yep.
the only team will beat them in this season so far and beat them at the Community Shield and then beat them again in the season. So going into this game, I didn't write it down for Liverpool if I'm going to be honest. I honestly thought that if a result was I thought they would have drawn the game. I didn't see Liverpool losing the game, but
Yeah.
it didn't come as a surprise to me, bro. I see everybody reeling up and say, "Oh, Liverpool not as good as I expected them to be." Blah blah blah. Liverpool has been the same Liverpool that they've been for the past 5 games. It's the
Hmm.
same Liverpool, bro. Where late goals is just that they have a super lethal attack, and somehow they manage to score more goals than the opponent. You see me? But this game, it did have I believe it would have caught up to them sooner rather than
At
later.
some point.
What
Yeah.
what you believe about Liverpool approach to the game and what Slot is doing in terms of is it a personal issue or as tactics and team issue? Where Liverpool just cannot defend, bro. They have one of the best keepers in the world, one of the best defenders in the world. They're supposed to them just by Frimpong where light up the Bundesliga last year. What is going on? Is it a player issue or a coaching issue?
You know what? It's a combination of things, but the fullback position has become so prevalent in football now, where both attacking and defensively, if you aren't on your game on any given um match day, then you can potentially lose games from out wide. And you think about Crystal Palace and what they do with their fullbacks, with Tyreek Mitchell. I hope he still comes to Jamaica. Probably not. Maybe I'm dreaming. But anyway, you think about Daniel Munoz. And then on the opposite end, you think about Connor Bradley and Kirkes. I know people
Yeah.
make a lot about Trent and his being in want defensively, but what Trent was experienced, right? He was familiar with the way Liverpool defends, and the difference between Slot and Klopp aren't that stark in terms of what they do defensively, right? It's still that high pressing, get at you type thing, spacing behind, high line stuff, recovery runs, right?
Yeah.
But I really think the changing of the fullbacks, Connor Bradley and Kirkes. I mean, Bradley was there, but Kirkes and Frimpong. Frimpong isn't a true right back. I think that's a worst kept secret in football right now. But
But
I
can't
think
defend, bro.
yeah, I really think the Liverpool's defensive issue stems from those fullback areas because Kirkes is small. He's very small, and I mean at Bournemouth it reared its ugly head sometimes, but again, you're not magnifying on Bournemouth. Now you're in the spotlight,
Yeah.
at Liverpool. So, of course, questions are going to be asked about Van Dijk and his aura defending. I mean, hey, he and Konate are still a very potent partnership, but again, Rush, I just think personally, bro, if you win the wars out wide, if you can give those fullbacks hell, you're going to beat Liverpool. You're going to score on Liverpool. You're going to, give them issues defensively. But the question is, are you going to keep them out? And at this point, you don't even have to try to keep out Isak and Verts because non-factors,
Yeah.
non-factors, and
And
and that's very concerning from a Liverpool perspective still, bro.
you said something. You said something to start the show that the grass isn't always green. Now you're referring to Isak, bro. I dare to say the same. I dare to say the same for Trent. Not about him in Real Madrid, but
Yeah,
Liverpool fans complained for years about how Trent can't defend, bro. Ignoring the fact that he's the best attacking wing back in world football. Left back, right back, he's the best attacking wide defender in football. And so they get another defender. And don't get me wrong, Frimpong is a good
of
footballer.
course, of course.
He's a top baller, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. But he's not going to solve their wide issues. I don't think Kirkes from Bournemouth is going to solve their wide issues. And I think Konate has lost a step, bro. And I think Slot realized that from last year because this is a new problem. They've been leaking goals. And I think Slot realized that from last year, and that is why he tried to get Mark Gahey. It didn't work.
exactly.
And how ironic of Mark Gahey to turn up and beat them.
What a play!
In the,
Hey, what a player, bro.
bro,
The-
top
the-
player.
to,
Top
to,
player.
to, to, to go about your business the way you did, knowing that you wanted to go to that team. And, shout out to Crystal Palace. I know the discussion going most of the time will center around the favorites in this regard, but yo, Maxen Lacroix,
Yeah.
bro, I think he goes unnoticed, but that guy is a brick wall around the back, playing in that middle CB role for Crystal Palace. So, again, Crystal Palace has a lot of ballers, underappreciated ballers, and I mean, Oliver Glasner deserves his flowers, but bro, Liverpool needs to sort it out because you don't spend the money that they spent and not get production from those two players. And I'm zooming in on Isak
Bro,
and
you see the
Florian
man
Wirtz.
out of breath. You see the man
It's
holding me.
It's
What is
crazy,
going on?
and again, as you said about Trent, you have trade offs in football, bro. So yeah, Trent will lapse every now and then, but he still understood the principles of defending in that team, Liverpool. So you think about Frimpong, Kirkes, they have to relearn, they have to learn Van Dijk, they have to learn Konate and Allison. You know,
Yeah.
so it's a brand new dynamic, and hey, it's not going to be like this forever, I believe, because they'll figure it out. But
Is it
that's what went wrong for them, I believe, in terms of Palace.
is it that you